This song is a prayer to spirit, a prayer to our spirit of oneness, to our spirit of wholeness, to our spirit of unity. The song is called Spirit of Oneness. Spirit of oneness, be here in this place, in this sacred space, flowing among us, showing our true face, showering us with grace. Spirit of oneness, fill every heart and soul, that the world may be made whole, as above so below. Revealing one great mind, your light of truth now shine. Spirit of wholeness, come like the peaceful dove, that this world be one in love, so below as above. Spirit of unity, bring the kingdom of heaven, that the world be one again, forever without end. Oh, Spirit of oneness, of wholeness and unity, then your world of love shall be for all eternity. Let it be so.
I want to welcome all of you to our Fellowship for Today Remembrance service. We come together in our fellowship spiritual community on the first Sunday of every December to remember and honor the loved ones in our lives who have passed, and also to support each other at a time of year that can be very difficult when we are grieving or remembering lost loved ones. I found a wonderful little reading here from Gina Pylon, who is a grief recovery specialist. She says, I have found that seeing our grief as an opportunity to grow the qualities of our soul, a much healthier and healing view. This does not mean that we pretend we are not sad or hurting. It means we give ourselves a gift from our loss rather than staying stuck in the depths of despair. It gives us hope that we can become a better person from the difficult experiences of our lives. In today's service, our Fellowship School of Ministry students, Julie Ross, Ian Whitney, and I will share some of our own experiences of gifts received through loss. But our grieving is so personal, and you may not be anywhere near the place of finding gifts in your loss. But if we can stay open, keeping our hearts open to even the possibility, in time, when we take that opportunity to find the gifts, instead of being ego-guided, we can become kinder and gentler, more compassionate, more generous, more loving, and much more spirit-guided. So I invite you to participate fully in this beautiful service this afternoon and open your heart in love and support to your fellow community members, and use this as an opportunity for healing.
Always and always, Karen Drucker. Special to my heart in loving remembrance. I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always in always with me. I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always in always with me. Free to sing along one more time. I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always in always with me. Never a moment that you are far from my heart. You're always in always with me. But you are far from my heart. You're always in all ways with me. I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always and always with me. You are always with me. Always with me in the sky, in the sun, in the breeze. I can feel you in my heart. Always with me. Always with me.
Join me now as we light a candle in remembrance of all of the beloved souls that have passed before us. If you didn't have your candle available to you right now, then consider lighting a candle during the holiday season in remembrance of your loved ones. Many of you have sent in names of your loved ones to include in our service this afternoon, and we have prepared a scroll of these names. So let us hold them in our hearts, and as we watch the names go by, remember them with love. And if your loved ones are not included in the scroll, speak their names and include them in this beautiful remembrance and honoring today.
This is a reading from the poem, Gone from My Sight. I am standing upon the seashore. A ship at my side spreads her white sails to the moving breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She is an object of beauty and strength. I stand and watch her until, at length, she hangs like a speck of white cloud just where the sea and sky come to mingle with each other. Then someone at my side says, "There, she is gone." Gone where? Gone from my sight. That is all. She is just as large in mast, hull, and spar as she was when she left my side. And she is just as able to bear her load of living freight to her destined port. Her diminished size is in me, not her. And just at the moment when someone says, "There, she is gone," there are other eyes watching her coming, and other voices ready to take up the glad shout. Here she comes, and that is dying.
Let's take this moment to pause and remember all of the blessings and gifts in our lives. Blessings of all sorts. Blessings of love and companionship and kindness and compassion, and blessings of abundance. We are so grateful to all of you who donate generously to the fellowship so that we can continue to reach all of you with these wonderful virtual services and on into the future when we are able to get back together again. So let's just take a moment and be thankful and grateful. And I ask you to join me as we read the blessing of our tithes and offerings. You'll see it on the screen here. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. Thank you so much. Our Fellowship School of Ministry students, Ian Whitney and Julie Ross, and I are sharing some stories about how we experienced gifts in the grieving and loss of a loved one. When I joined the School of Ministry in September of 2011, my mother had just passed in August of 2011. And I do believe it was through my work with the School of Ministry that I have been able to find my way to seeing so many gifts in what at that point in time seemed like so devastating and so much pain that I was experiencing. But I want to relay just a couple things to you. In the last 2 years of my mom's life, it was just a roller coaster. She had failing health, and it was steadily declining over those 2 years. And so there were constantly things happening, hospital stays, rehab stays, changing from a regular apartment to assisted living, and finally to hospice. And during all of these changes, and during all of the times when she, was not feeling well or needed additional care, I struggled to find the best way to take care of her and to make her comfortable. And I did it from a place of I've got to do this myself. I've got to figure this out, and I've got to get things settled and get our feet on the ground again and have things stable so that we can both be comfortable. And the minute that would happen, I felt like we had all the pieces in place, something else would happen, and it would turn things upside down again. And I remember finally sitting in the hospital room with her in that last hospital stay when I was just sitting there with her and thinking to myself, I do not know what to do from this point on. I don't know where to go from here. And I really just surrendered. I had no idea. It was just, putting my hands up saying, I really need help here. And in those next 2 days, all of the pieces fell together with the help of doctors and hospice nurses, a place for her to go very quickly, a lovely, lovely hospice. And I did feel the relief of the surrender in that moment. But it wasn't until years later that I really understood what a huge, huge gift that was. It was a demonstration to me that, number one, I am never alone. And when I can ask first, when I can connect first with my source and use the guidance of source from the very beginning, that can go so much more smoothly instead of trying to struggle my little human ego self, trying to make it all work out. And two, when I finally did surrender and accept and trust that everything would work out just the way it was supposed to work out, it did, as it always does when we're able to remember to do that. So that was a huge, huge gift and lesson in my life, and I thank my mother so much for her part in that. And I also remember every day what a gift that was and how much it has served me and will serve me for the rest of my life.
My name is Ian Whitney, and I am a first-year ministry school student. This is my first talk on the topic of love and loss. What can we take away from a devastating loss? The death of a loved one. My earliest memories and first example of unconditional love was my maternal grandmother, Martha Schilling. My mom was her youngest daughter. As a widow, she moved from West Virginia to Colorado, where I was born. We lived in Fort Collins, and from the age of 2 to 6, she was entrusted with taking care of me, as my parents were both in grad school. My grandmother stepped up, more than just meals and a place to lay my head at night. We shared some of the earliest memories and most joyous memories of my life. If I was injured, she would bandage me. If I was ill, she would nurse me to health. When I fell, she picked me up. We would read, watch TV shows like Lassie, and I remember running through her sprinklers in the backyard on hot summer days. She was the first person I saw in the morning and the last person I saw at night. She is my first example of unconditional love. Although my mother, father, and I moved to Michigan, it didn't keep us apart. One memorable trip was when I was 14, and she let me drive her Toyota around Fort Collins. She demonstrated her trust in me, risking life and limb. Fast forward to 2001. I enlisted in the United States Air Force. While I was in basic training, a Red Cross chaplain approached me and told me that my grandmother had passed. Despite this, her love and spirit were still there with me. I felt her presence during the most difficult times of my life, especially when I was in Iraq in 2003. She was with me, protecting me. I like to think of death as all of us being under the same roof, but someone just goes through another door. They're in a different room. We don't slip into oblivion when we die, and death is not eternal. We end as we start, in the presence of God, and love never dies.
Hello, everyone. When Mary asked me to give me a short talk about the loss of someone I've loved and what I learned from that, I knew right away what I want to speak about. Over 10 years ago, my best friend, Julie, passed away from breast cancer. And then about 5 years later, my mother also passed away. And these two people were what I considered my anchors, my secret keepers, my strength. And after I lost both of them, I really had a feeling of hopelessness. Who would be my strength? Who would be my support? Who would have my back? I felt fragile and alone and desolate. And what I didn't know is that in the loss of these two women, I would ultimately find myself and my own strength. And it didn't happen overnight. It's taken numerous years, I want to say 5, 6 years now since my mother crossed over, to take these little baby steps along my path, not knowing that the universe and God had lined up just the right people at just the right time to kind of intercede and help me along the way and help me to find my strength. So I'm very grateful for those folks who came along at just the right time and helped me. It was one lesson at a time, and a lot of what was sort of holding me back from standing in my truth and gaining my strength was trauma and negative energy I was carrying from my whole lifetime, from many negative experiences and traumas. So I had to learn with the help and guidance of others to be patient with myself, to give myself strength, to realize that the strength I was looking for was found within, and that no person in my life could have my back any more than I could have my own. One of the biggest instances that helped me to learn this lesson and gain my strength and stand in my truth was when I took the trip to India. And for those of you who've heard me talk before, I have brought it up before because it was such a big turning point for me. It was a humanitarian mission, and I did a lot of work with children, underprivileged children, and their families while I was there. But in reflecting on the trip, when I came back over the next year or more, I kept a journal every day and wrote down my reflections of the trip, and realized that to be able to travel across the world like that by myself, I did meet a group there, but it was a challenging and scary proposition. But before the trip, I started daily, numerous times a day, saying mantras like, I am peace, I am strength, I am love, I am light, I am brave, I am strong, I have courage. And when I first started saying these mantras, I really didn't believe it. But I said it anyway, and I continued to say it over and over again. And then in the midst of the trip in India, and we were a good part of the time in the huge city of New Delhi, which is very chaotic and very, very crowded, I felt that strength rising, and the fear leaving me, and the ability to not worry about every little situation and what may or may not happen, and to basically learn to abandon control and just succumb to the flow of the universe and whatever was to happen. A saying that I've kind of another mantra I have is, all the worrying in the world can't change what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. So I learned to let go of worry, I learned to let go of control, I learned to let go of fear over what might happen, and ultimately gained my inner strength and found these truths within myself. So I have to thank my my Reiki master, my psychotherapist, the people here at the fellowship, and all those who've crossed my path to sort of nudge me or lead me in the right direction. And I'm very grateful to have gained this wonderful sense of strength and truth and love for myself in the losses of these women. Forever grateful. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite you to join me in a meditation I've entitled One Love. I invite you to close your eyes, settle in, get relaxed, and let's take a few deep breaths as we send the signal to our body, mind, and spirit that we're going into meditative state. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly out the mouth. And another deep breath in. And exhaling slowly. And one more time. Deep inhale. And a slow exhale as release and let go. Focusing our mind's eye now on the heart space and opening our hearts. Letting go of any heaviness that resides there. Opening to welcome love and the connection to the One, to our Creator, to Spirit. Eternal Spirit and Source of life, we know you are present in all things, eternal and without end. When we open our hearts and connect to your eternal love, we are connecting also to every being of spirit, both here on earth and across the universe. We ask for your continued guidance and healing as we grieve our loved ones no longer present in their physical bodies. And we give thanks and gratitude for the love we continue to share with our loved ones, as we know that love is eternal and goes beyond the limitations of this physical world. We claim and express that love in every memory that we share, every time we shed a tear, look at a picture that brings back warm memories, or when we sit in silence with their presence. While the days can be long and the pain of loss unbearable at times, we lift our hearts to you in these moments, trusting in your plan for our greatest good, and knowing you are ever present, ever by our side, always ready to comfort us and give us strength. We are forever grateful for having loved so deeply, for we know that the source of this love is you, dear God. We honor our loved ones by living our lives with joy in our hearts, integrity of spirit, and a purpose to love deeply and without reservation. A quote by Khalil Gibran: "The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain." I know that the holidays are so difficult for a lot of people, for reasons of loss, yes, but also illness, isolation from others, and financial stress. Often, several factors occur at once, compounding these feelings of stress, anxiety, and despair. The misconception about the holidays is that they're one big party, but that's not exactly reality. In reality, more than half of Americans admit to feeling severely depressed and anxious during November and December. And with the pandemic upending our lives over the last year and a half, these feelings are intensified. One important fact to remember in these times is that you are not alone. Please reach out to friends, family, professional organizations, or your church for support if you're really struggling and feeling overwhelmed or unable to cope. Although we can't see or feel our loved ones near us, there are signs of their presence in our daily lives. Their favorite song coming on the radio while you're driving in the car, or the chill you feel brush your arm, or the tingling in your spine when you think of them. They are also present in the tears you shed from the anguish of missing them, and in each belly laugh you have while recalling a funny shared experience from your time together. The connection we share with our loved ones transcends space and time. It is eternal. It comes from the source of pure love, and these eternal bonds cannot be broken. Let us take comfort and draw strength from this knowledge and rejoice in this tremendous experience we all share as one. Thank you.
Some bright morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life have gone, I'll fly away. Like a bird from these prison bars have flown, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Oh, how glad and happy when we meet, I'll fly away. No more cold iron shackles on my feet, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joys will never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. One more time, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
Thank you so much to everyone who participated in our service this afternoon for sharing from your hearts and being part of that support network in our spiritual community. I want to thank Winna Lee, Zeeb, Ian Whitney, Julie Ross, and our beautiful students, School of Ministry students. They did such a beautiful job. And thanks to all of you who have taken some time to spend with us this afternoon and shared your loving energy with us. That is such a gift for all of us. It always is every Sunday afternoon. I want to give you just a couple of announcements this afternoon. We do have Linda Rose's memorial service coming up on Saturday, December 11th. That's at 4 p.m. at the Fenner Nature Center. And all of those details are in the e-announcements. And if you have any questions, you can always get a hold of us here at the office. We also have a planned fellowship Christmas get-together on December 18th at 6 o'clock. That's a Saturday here at the office building in the common area. And if you're looking for a really lovely little remembrance or gift to share with someone here in our local community, we are doing a little outreach project. You can send this card and this lovely peace ornament, and we will hand deliver this and sing with the little gift. We wish you a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. It's up to you. You can also give us a personalized message, then we'll add it to the card. There's this card and this other beautiful, beautiful card as well. So I have a Rumi quote that I would like to end with. This is a beautiful observation about grieving. He says, "Don't run away from grief, O soul. Look for the remedy inside the pain, because the rose came from the thorn and the ruby came from the stone." Thank you to Rumi. He's always gifted us with such wisdom. And now I'd like for all of us to visualize forming our big, beautiful peace circle. Stand up if you're able. Reach out your hands and feel your neighbor's hand in yours as we join together to sing for peace of mind and peace of heart, which always leads to peace on earth. And the closing blessing will be after that, and you'll see the words on the screen. Thanks again to all of you for joining us this afternoon. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday.